All having a great day out there. I just got back from vacation. Figured I'd do a quick update, look at what the market's doing today, and talk some Tesla news. So, if we look at the market, we do have some green today. Definitely a positive. Everything seems to be pretty green. So, we'll see if it's a little fake rally. A lot of people are convinced we're not out of the woods yet. So, I'll give you guys my thoughts on the market and where we're headed this year in a minute. But first, I just want to look through some Tesla news here. If we start with this, if I could share my screen here. Let's see, share screen. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So the competition is here. Lost permission. Oh, I guess we can't share the screen. Hang on. Anyway, I was going to pull up a chart here that shows Tesla's or the U.S. EV market share Q1 2022. Tesla had 76%. Hyundai, second place, 9%. VW, 4.6%. Ford, 4.5%. And everybody else put together has 6%. So much for GM and the competition coming here. But as far as Tesla news, we just got some news that Elon Musk has moved the Tesla layoff target from 10% to 3% of employees. So much for that whole big stink. Really not as big of a deal as everyone was making it out to be. In other news, we've got Tesla's achieving production of 1,000 cars in a week at the Gigafactory in Berlin. So hopefully that kind of helps offset some of the lost production that we're going to have from Shanghai for this quarter, which again, I think it's not a big deal. I think it's just going to be a blip on the radar in the long term here. But it's definitely going to hurt them for this quarter. Don't think it's a big deal, but we'll see what happens. So I still can't share my screen. That's really a bummer. Other than that, Tesla's launching more insurance into different states, which I think is a huge deal. This is one of the things that is just going to keep Tesla ahead. They're saving people a ton of money with Tesla insurance, right? So now it's available now, I believe, in 8 states: Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Nevada, Ohio, Oregon, Texas, and Virginia. And, depending on your safety score, that's how they account for what your insurance rate is going to be, which I think makes perfect sense. I mean, they're saving people a ton of money. If you have a good safety score, you're going to save between 20 to 40% on your premium compared with competitors. And those with the safest scores could save between 30 and 60%. And the way that they're measuring, your safety score has to do with, they obviously have all the data from how you're driving, how hard you're braking, all kinds of different things go into it, how hard you turn. So if you have a very high safety score of 90 plus, you're going to save hundreds of dollars every month on your insurance premiums. And I think that this is a huge deal. It's just another way Tesla's innovating, and it'll give them an edge against the competition here. Despite, Elon recently came out and said that he thinks that Tesla's basically fully dependent on full self-driving at this point, that it'll make or break the company, which I disagree with. I think if Tesla solves full self-driving, it will definitely make them the most valuable company in the world. But even without it, they just have so many great things that they're working on here, not to mention, leading the way with electric vehicles. They've got some of the highest profit margins. If they can maintain those 30% profit margins, that alone can justify a pretty hefty valuation. But then when you add to that, the solar segment, the insurance segment, and I think the full self-driving will get there. It's just a matter of time. But Elon recently said that solving self-driving is the difference between Tesla being worth a lot or being worth nothing. I would disagree with that. It'll definitely help them if they solve it, but they have so many other things going on right now that are very positive for the company. He also said that he thinks Lucid and Rivian are trending toward bankruptcy, which is probably true. And we got a report from Bloomberg that thinks Volkswagen is actually going to overtake Tesla sales by 2024. They seem to be the only one that's close. Everyone else is ways away, but even if that were to happen, I don't think we need to get so caught up in who's leading and what percent, because at the end of the day, so if that's true, let's say VW does overtake Tesla. Tesla only needs 10, 20% of the EV market. If all things, were to stay constant and they're making the profit margins that they make today, even if they only had 10, 20% of the market, let's say they can sell 10 million cars a year. The global car market is around 80 million. with the profit margins they're bringing in, it will give them billions and billions of dollars that they can then funnel into all these other projects that they're working on, and making those better. In other news, we've got Tesla just did actually really interesting a virtual power plant demonstration in Texas. So again, going back to the other innovations that Tesla has going for them beyond full self-driving, they're trying to make these virtual power plants where basically you get a bunch of homes together, let's say 100 homes that have Tesla solar and the battery storage all connected to the grid, where you could take 100 homes and start pumping a sizable amount of power back onto the grid, when it's stressed at peak hours, whenever. And eventually, I think we're going to see that you could sell your power back to the grid, because you're already fully self-sustainable. And then any power that's extra that you're not using, you're going to be able to sell back to the grid. And, the customer can make money. Tesla can make money from that. So these are just some of the other little innovations that I think we're going to see here in the long term. It definitely is going to take a while, and there's lots of regulations there to get through. So in the short term here, Tesla's they're definitely going to have a tough quarter. That tends to happen when your main factory, your most efficient factory, is shut down for months at a time over in Shanghai there. But I don't think, again, that this is anything to worry about. Nothing changes long term, just a short term blip on the radar. So I think Tesla has multiple competitive advantages here that we're seeing play out, and will continue to, help the company stay ahead of competition. As far as the market here, today's actually a very green day, surprisingly, after last week, I think was the worst week we've had in a very long time in the market. I'm looking at a company here, Symbotic. The ticker is SYM. Definitely check it out. It's a very interesting company. Walmart basically just announced that they have a 62% stake in the company, and the stock went up quite a bit as a result. I think it got as high as 26 or 28 today. But Symbotic, so it's an automation technology company. It provides robotics and technology to improve efficiency for retailers and wholesalers in the US. It offers the Symbotic system, a full-service warehouse automation system that reduces costs, improves efficiency, and maximizes inventory. So primarily based in warehouse automation. They've got some interesting stuff. I've been looking into the company a little bit. There's not a whole lot of information out there, but Walmart seems to believe in them, and they're using them, I believe, in 40 of their distribution centers already. So definitely an interesting play there. So we've got Elon Musk saying that Tesla had a very tough quarter and they're going to need a rally. I think that who knows? They're definitely going to miss the estimates for deliveries this quarter, just again because Shanghai has been shut down for so long. But positive we are seeing with Giga Berlin is starting to ramp, and they just achieved 1,000 cars produced on a weekly basis. So 1,000 cars a week coming out of Berlin. It's not going to replace Shanghai, but it should definitely help offset it a little bit. So we'll see how that all plays out. And a report also just came out. The highest customer satisfaction cars, Tesla Model 3 was number one on the list. GM did not make the list. So they're continuing to do just fine. This is a crazy market we're in. I had some good memes I wanted to share here, but it's not letting me share my screen. So we'll have to do that in another video. But, it's a crazy year here. And my plan is basically, I'm staying the course. I'm doing my monthly dollar cost averages. So I'm buying the S&P every month. I'm buying Tesla here and there. But other than that, I am definitely putting a little bit more money aside, not investing as heavily as I have been, just because I'm not convinced that we're out of the woods yet. So the way I see it, I'm mostly invested already. I was going into 2022. So I think right now I'm sitting around 5% cash, and I'm simultaneously just dollar cost averaging and trying to build up that cash position for if the market really does tank, right? Obviously, nobody knows. We could have bottomed already, or we could have a lot more pain ahead. I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet. It's all going to come down to the Fed. I've got a close eye on, the actions they're taking and how inflation's looking. The Fed has two jobs, right? The Fed does not care about the stock market. They care about keeping the unemployment rate at a reasonable level and keeping inflation low. The Fed has come out and said they want to get inflation to 2%. So they're going to keep doing whatever they have to do, aka raising interest rates until inflation gets to 2%. So, inflation, I think at 8.6% or something for April, May. So we've definitely got a ways to go with that. And, the market does not tend to come back until the Fed stops raising rates, right? They were at zero for so long, and that was part of what enabled such a crazy bull run we've had really over the last decade. And then with the stimulus you throw in the last couple of years, those two factors together really made the market run. And it probably is good that it's kind of coming back down to earth a little bit, because it was just getting very overheated. So we'll have to see what happens there. I had a bunch of other stuff I wanted to share with you guys, but I can't share my screen for some reason here. I'll try one more time, but it's looking grim for that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Drop them in the comments below. So Tesla firing on all cylinders. I'm really not worried. Any big price drops in the short term here, I'm just using as a buying opportunity. So it is up today. Tesla's up to $700, I believe. We'll see if this rally holds. We keep getting a lot of these green mornings that by the end of the day, we're in the red. So we'll see what happens. Again, short term, nobody knows. I'm not convinced we're out of the woods yet. So I'm continuing to dollar cost average and also putting some money aside for if there really is a huge fallout here. So let me know your thoughts. What's your guys' strategy? Are you investing in these volatile times? Are you staying the course, or are you changing your strategy? This is Vinny from the Investment Club, and I'll see you next time.